Hey guys, 7K Vex is here once again. I feel very prompted to make a video because I've had a lot of questions come in lately, especially after I had watched a video of another YouTuber, I can link it here, where she had a dream that was very similar, so similar, strikingly, to one that I had 12 years ago that I wrote down, and it became so long that I wound up making a story out of it that was essentially almost 300 pages. And I just thought that after I have a lot of these questions coming in now, especially with what's going on in this time period, I should probably speak up, and maybe it might be time to say something. So let's get to it. That's just for fun. I've had a lot of questions about the dream that inspired me to write this in the first place. And it was a series of 2 dreams, technically, that started me on my path. The first one was in 2004, when I was just a kid. I was like 12. And the second was in 2009. But the first was in 2004, and it was the first dream I ever had about basically like chaos, other than maybe tornadoes or volcanoes, floods, stuff like that. It was the first time I ever saw people like fighting, like rioting. I didn't know what that looked like before. It was kind of like 9/11, like a 9/11 type situation. Like buildings were on fire and people were fighting each other, and like there were so many little elements to this dream. Like a little girl that I saw that was looking for her family, and everybody's running about, and she somebody picks her up and takes off with her, and I know it's not her family. And like little elements about this that bothered me so much that and I was just a kid. But in 2009 this dream came back up, but it was enwrapped within another dream. And the summer that I had this dream, it was like late June, early July. There were a lot of things going on that probably inspired me to have this. H1N1 was going around. Around the same time, we were forced to be vaccinated for HPV in order to go to my public school. We also, the economy crashed, and it was just, I also read 1984 by George Orwell in school. I had to. I also had to study McCarthyism at the same time. And so all of those things probably affected this. Also, I was a huge Terminator fan, and we watched the whole series that summer, me and my best friend, before we saw the 4th one, which was coming out later on in, I think, July or something like that. And so all of these probably had something to do with the reason I had this dream, but I'm not sure. Those were the elements that were in play at the time. This was 2009. I was 17 years old. In the dream, I was at a university in Los Angeles. I don't know why, because I didn't live there, but I was there, and it seemed like it was kind of like a registration, but I knew it wasn't a registration. We were in lines to enter into the facility, into the school, and I knew it was like August or September or October, early October, sometime around there. And I knew that there were like tabloids in my head of what was going on, and there was like a disease going on, and it was killing a lot of people, but there was a lot of controversy in the media back and forth about how the numbers didn't match up. It didn't seem right. It didn't make sense. And so they came out with a vaccine in order to stop that. And so I knew also that if I didn't get this, I would be losing my job. I might lose more than that, but I knew I was losing my job. And so I was standing in line, and we're starting to flow into the building, and I'm seeing the tables, and there's like coolers underneath. There's like a black container, and then like a bluish kind of container underneath it, like a high-end cooler with like locks, and there's like a box for like orange kind of biohazard, and then there's like vials, like a box of vials, and um uh, then I remember nurses, and as we're approaching, a a man that I guess knew me, but I didn't recognize him personally, but I guess I knew him. I don't know. But he comes up to me and he tells me, "Hey, do you remember that dream that you had? Well, I had it too, and it's happening right now, and we gotta go." And I was like, "Well, I have to do this. I have to like get this thing." And he was like very adamant. He was pulling me out. He's like, "No, you cannot get this. You can't do this. There's something wrong with it. All of this is going on right now. We have to go." And I'm we're like arguing, and he's pulling me out of line, and the people behind me are starting to get agitated. I'm like at the front of the line now, and so I let somebody go around me, and then people are getting even more angry, and we're going, and then somebody pushes me, and then like someone else pushes the person that pushes me, maybe like I don't know, somebody does, but they like go, it's like everybody's pushing each other, and somebody comes into the table and bumps the table, and like dirty syringes, and like the box opens and they spill everywhere, and then the vials go everywhere. And for some reason in the dream, this didn't make sense, but the people rushed and ran after the vials of this substance. They were going after it on the floor, and the nurses all trying to fight them off, and there's like security coming. And I didn't understand that, because it's like it's a vaccine. Why do you need to why are you so obsessed with trying to get it like candy from a piñata, or like a drug? Why are you so obsessed with trying to get this when it has to be administered to you? That's like fighting over tattoo ink that hasn't even been put under your skin yet. It just didn't make sense to me. But maybe it was symbolic. I don't know. But we get out because of whatever distractions going on. We wind up getting out, and we have to go through like hallways, like a different way, a different direction. And so as we're going through the hallways, and he's dragging me, well, I remember he offered me his hand, because I just wouldn't go when he tugged me, and then he's finally offered it and was like, "Please," when all this chaos was going on. And we take off, we go down the hallways, I look out the windows, and there's like major chaos going on. That's like when the other dream started, essentially, is the sky was all smoky and cloudy and stormy, and just didn't look right. It did not look right. And so we go out the doors, we get out, and it's just chaos. There's buildings on fire, there's people fighting each other, there's um people in black uniforms with like helmets and batons, and like cattle prods, and like gas, and everybody's fighting each other. The people are fighting each other. Um, it's just like war, like protests, like chaos. And then there's also people that were going out of their minds. Like they were like ripping their skin off, like ripping out their cheeks, and like ripping off their lips, or pulling their hair out, and like attacking their own bodies. And it's like I knew in my gut that they were pushing this to prevent this, but the people who had taken this, that were in the line that took this, were acting like this. And so like it didn't make sense. And it seemed like there was controversy about it, but it like I understood that. I knew that in the dream. And so we're trying to get out of the city. We find a truck, and we just like we get to like a house, and we find a truck, and it just works, and we take it, and we get out, and we get to the forest, and we get to like a gas station, and then we're like sleeping in like kind of like in the truck, something like that. And then I know like for some reason I have to go back, like I have to find my friend, I have to go back for somebody. And so I take the truck, I take off, and I go back into the city to try and find my friend. and the guy like wakes up and like he starts protesting and yelling at me saying, we have to get off the road, we can't go back, we have to get off the road. And my gut is telling me not to do it, but I'm determined and I do it anyway. And we get stopped at like, it's like a check, kind of like a like how borders are, you know, like a check area. And we get stopped, and as we're going, there's not really any businesses, um like there's like not any cars on the road, there's like nobody else out there, and I just didn't get it. Like there was nobody driving, and most of the businesses were like closed or broken into. And um so, but we get stopped. We stop at this place and we have to get out, and we walk, and we're like in these lines, and there's other people, and we have to go through like these kind of gerbil trails with doors that are like tents, um like vinyl or whatever. And then we get into like this building, and it's like a school or like a hospital, like converted. I don't know what's going on, but they get these like these tests on us, and they say that one of us is sick. Somebody's sick, I don't remember, but like one of us was positive. And because we were together, we had to I think it was him because I didn't feel sick, but like one of us was positive, or I was. And because we were together, we had to be like quarantined. And so we get pushed down these hallways and into separate dorm rooms or hotel rooms, something like that. And as we're in separate rooms, we're trying to get out and escape and meet each other. And every time I get out, they find me and then put me back in, or like, you know, like force me back in or direct me back in. And I feel like I'm kind of like in a resident home. And I didn't know what that was like back then, but you know, like you're stuck, like you can't get out. And so we finally get out, like we finally meet each other, and we hide in like a closet, like another room that's like kind of like a janitor closet or something. And I don't know if we put on a disguise or like, you know, like what we like kind of like pray together and um like put on a disguise or something. But when we come out, we're like essentially invisible. They're not noticing us. And so we get out through the hallways, and I'm just like praying and praying and praying, please don't catch us. And we get out, we get into the forest again. And then once we get into the forest, it's like I know they're coming after us again. And with the flashlights, and we're running, and we're booking it. And there's people with flashlights looking through the forest. And then there's like these camera things, and I didn't know what drones were back then. I didn't even know if they had them. I wasn't sure, but it was like a camera, like a ball that was like a camera and had sensors, and it could fly, and it could like pick up on certain things, and it would fly around and zoom around. And there were at least two of them looking for us. And they had like lights and stuff, and they were looking around, and we come across this water, like a watershed. And it's like, we know there's supposed to be water here, but this is way more than we were expecting. Like it was flooded or something. Like we didn't understand why there was more than there should be. And so we were trying to get around it, and we didn't know what we were going to do. And we find a boat, like we magically find a little dinghy or something. And so and we get in it, and like a schooner, no, not like a dinghy. And we get in it, and we start floating. And then we have to duck down and lay down in the boat and like pretend we're not in it, and pray that they're not going to find us. And they're like searching with flashlights, and the cameras are going around, and I don't know if they do, but the dream ended there. And it was so intense and so crazy. I had never dreamed of anything like that before. And it was so nuts that I wrote it down. And I had written a little novella that was almost 300 pages right before this, like the year before this. And it took me about like 10-11 months to do it. It was cheesy, but I did that right before, and I didn't want to write again. But when I had this dream, I had to write it down. And I just kept going. Like I created a premise, and then the dream portion didn't even happen till like a little later. And it just kept going, and it wound up being really long. And now that I'm trying to branch out and discuss this with people, I'm having a hard time trying to get that out there because of what's going on. And with you know what. And so I was curious what other people had to say. If other people have had similar dreams. If you've had other dreams that were kind of similar, leave them in the comments, make your own videos. If you have an interpretation of what this dream might have meant, let me know. If you want any information about this story, or about the trailers I made, the music that I made, I have links and I can link them here. And I appreciate your guys' time. Just let me know what you think, or if you have any questions, or if you have had any similar experiences, or what you think this all might mean. I would like to know what you guys think. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care of yourselves.